Cole Palmer did come to the party because don't forget, last season was a really, really disappointing one for him where injuries and loss of form did affect him. So his performances, his output for Chelsea last season were very poor. But this season, he has started with a bang, where his dribbling was spot on. His passing was spot on. There was no understanding or there was no telepathy between Romeo Lavia and Reece James because they haven't really played that long together. To me, Roberto Sanchez is not up to the task. You understand? Because if you want to win the EPL, if you want to do well in the Champions League, you need a very, very good goalkeeper. And if you look at the first goal that he conceded, you can't be in your first post and then concede a goal from that angle. You understand? Because the calculation was wrong. He misjudged the pace of the ball. He mistimed the pace of the ball as well. And to me, Chelsea began the 2026-2027 season with a commanding 3-2 win against their North London rivals. It is more a derby because in this particular match, Chelsea hasn't really fared well over the past couple of seasons because last season, where Fulham did beat Chelsea by 3-2, but this season, with their new head coach in the form of Zavi Alonso, he took his first match, he began his first match as coach of Chelsea with a commanding win over their North London rivals. But one interesting thing about the Chelsea team is the way they played and the way the players were tactically laid on the pitch. Because I thought that he was going to go with a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 system, but Zavi Alonso decided to go with a 3-back system. And it is not something that is novel to Chelsea because we have had coaches that have played with a 3-back in the form of Antonio Conte, who won the Premier League with the 3-back system. But so it is not something that is novel, but it's been a really long time where Chelsea did revert to a 3-4-3 system. But Xabi Alonso did try it, but at the end of the day, they were able to get all the 3 points. But there are key variants in the game because with the 3-back system, it allowed a lot of spaces in behind the wing back because they were not able to recover enough of the time. So the Fulham attackers had a lot of space to tread the balls in. So that is one of the problems that Xavi Alonso will have to address going forward into the season. And on a sumptuous note for Chelsea supporters, Cole Palmer did come to the party because don't forget, last season was a really, really disappointing one for him where injuries and loss of form did affect him. So it was one of the same reasons why he was not on the plane to the World Cup because his form was down, his form was poor. The injuries did worry him last season, and his performances, his output for Chelsea last season were very poor. But this season, he has started with a bang, where his dribbling was spot on, his passing was spot on, and even got a goal. The move that he did with João Pedro was a fantastic move. So to me, I think that Chelsea did play well, but there are a lot of lapses in midfield because there was no understanding or there was no telepathy between Romeo Lavia and Reece James because they haven't really played that long together. But I do understand that Romeo Lavia is a more defensive midfielder, with what's the name? Reece James as a right back who can also be deployed as a midfielder because of his range of passing. But today it wasn't really effective. You might say because of the pairing, but at the end of the day, Morgan Rogers also got on the sheet because it's a player that was bought for £115 million. I think that his output on the day was great. It was fantastic. The way he was able to mark his players, the way he was able to track back, the way he was able to join the attack, and the way that there was a clear understanding, there was a clear a cohesion with him and the other players on the field. But one thing Fulham did do to worry Chelsea was that whenever they had the ball, they were going long. Whenever they had the ball, they were really, really attacking Chelsea from the width and through the middle, and they were also pressing on the front foot. So it is an indication that should Chelsea face a team that has more quality, should Chelsea face a team that is going to be on the front foot, is going to be a problem for them because defensively they were not astute. And also, this is something that we have spoken about over the past couple of years because Chelsea has a problem in their goalkeeping department. To me, Roberto Sanchez it's not up to the task. You understand? Because if you want to win the EPL, if you want to do well in the Champions League, you need a very, very good goalkeeper. And if you look at the first goal that he conceded, you can't be in your first post and then concede a goal from that angle. You understand? Because the calculation was wrong. He misjudged the pace of the ball. He mistimed the pace of the ball as well. And to me, I think that at this level where you need consistency from your back four and consistency and aggressive goalkeeping from your goalkeeper, we haven't really seen that from Roberto Sanchez since he moved from Brentford to Chelsea. I haven't seen that. So I thought this season Chelsea would have upgraded on their goalkeeping department, and they go in for McMahon, but we haven't done that. And should Chelsea not be able to mount a serious title challenge or even mount a serious, Champions League qualification berth, I think that is going to boil down to the goalkeeping department. Because if you look at the work that the players are going to put in, because I can tell you for the fact that the attacking football that Zavi Alonso wants to play is going to yield results, it's going to yield goals. But imagine if you are scoring goals and then you are also conceding, it means that your players would have to outscore your opponents. But how long are you going to outscore your opponents on every occasion? So sometimes if you score a couple of goals, you would have to make sure that your keeper gets you a clean sheet. And if you have a goalkeeper that is not synonymous with getting a clean sheet, then it's going to be difficult as a team to really, really go far or do well when it comes to playing the top team. So I think that is also a department that Chelsea would have to look at. But on the whole, I think that the most important thing is the fact that Chelsea did get their win on the day, because the first match in the season is very important. It gives you your momentum, it gives you your confidence level, and it builds your momentum, your leverage going forward into the season. And to me, I think that it was a good initiative from Zavi Alonso and the way he wants to play. Because if you look at his tenure in Bayer Leverkusen, he did use the same system, the three back system, the 3-4-3 system, and it worked to greater efficiency, because they won the league, they went far in the Champions League, and then they did well by beating what's the name, the German giants in Bayern Munich. But he went to Madrid and things did not really go well for him. But at the end of the day, the question is that would he be successful managing this Chelsea squad? Because don't forget that over the past couple of years, Chelsea haven't really had success in terms of winning trophies, by the Conference League that they won, and then the Club World Cup Championship that they won under Enzo Maresca. But if Chelsea want to compete with the top guns, especially Arsenal, in trying to restore the EPL from them and then go far in the Champions League, then Zavi Alonso would have to be top-notch. Zavi Alonso would have to be tactically astute in this season. And the players would also have to come to the party. And this season, I believe that the team is going to be very, very reliant on the output of Cole Palmer, because I can tell you for the fact that he is practically Chelsea's best player. Tactically, technically, and skills-wise, I think that is Chelsea's best player. And the fact that Morgan Rogers has also been brought in is going to aid the work when going forward. And also, I think João Pedro has started scoring goals. And if he's able to score between 15 to 20 goals this season, the season would have been a successful one for them. So I think Chelsea did play well, but the problems in their midfield, the gaps in their midfield, where Fulham was able to detect the pace and then use the laterals and then the midsection to create enough chances to also get 2 goals. To me, that is a really, really big problem that Chelsea and their head coach would have to work on. But do you think that, having seen Chelsea beat Fulham by 3-2, they have what it takes to mount a serious title challenge, or it's just a fluke? Do you think Chelsea can mount a serious title challenge or even qualify for the Champions League? Because these are the two indicators, these are the two KPIs that Zavi Alonso would have to work with. Either mounting the challenge for the EPL, which I know is far-fetched, but the most realistic target for him right now will be to qualify for the Champions League and then to play well. Do you think that they have the quality? Do you think that they have the competency? Do you think that they have what it takes to qualify for the Champions League? And also, if you look at the way Fulham played, Fulham hasn't really struggled winning matches last season, the last couple of seasons. But do you think that they are going to retain their position in the EPL this season, or they are going to fight relegation? Because don't forget, there are teams that will do well a couple of seasons in the Premier League, and then the season will come where they are going to be struggling and then be fighting relegation. Do you think that Fulham, after having played very well, even though they were on the losing side, would they stay in the EPL or would they struggle with relegation?